Good morning. Today we'll be talking about supporting our most vulnerable residents in this COVID-19 pandemic. As I said before, this is really three crises. This is a public health crisis, a humanitarian crisis, and an economic crisis. One consistent theme across all three crises is that our most vulnerable residents in our community are most impacted. Many of our neighbors have lost their jobs. Many businesses have laid off employees or even have been forced to close, and some of them permanently. As a result, we have many residents who are struggling to pay their bills, to pay their rent, or to make their credit card payments. A lot of people are hurting. And as a community, it's our responsibility to step up and do everything we can. In St. Louis County, we have been focused on helping with utility assistance. And we know that if our neighbors can't afford to pay their utility bills, then they're at risk for having their services interrupted. Now, we have urged our utility companies to extend their moratorium on shutoffs and continue to work with our struggling businesses and residents. But if they don't, we'll be ready to help with bills to make sure that services are not interrupted. We've already allocated $2.2 million from St. Louis County to utility assistance, and today we're here to announce that we're going to allocate another $1 million for utility assistance. And we're going to be working with Cool Down St. Louis. Cool Down St. Louis is a leading agency for utility assistance in the metropolitan region for the past 20 years. They've helped thousands of families. And unfortunately, they've seen their requests triple during the pandemic as folks have faced more and more challenges. And we're expecting those requests and those needs to increase over the hot months of the summer. And of course, as we're asking people to stay at home more than ever, this is the wrong time for people to be facing service interruptions. So today I'm joined by leaders of Cool Down St. Louis, who will talk about some of the challenges they have and some of the innovative ways that they found to meet the challenging times that our community is facing right now. Gentry?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Need knows no geographic boundaries, and this has been very difficult. Last month it was 3 times. This month it's almost 4.5 times of people, the demands that are coming. And we're working with utility companies like Ameren Missouri, who are doing a great job with us. They've invested $5 million of investors' money to make sure that we can help along with federal funds. This is why we're here with our partner, Mrs. Bosman. How are you? And this is Castle. This is one of our partners. And what we will be doing, they will reveal. Pam Walker is the president of our board of directors, emeritus, and she's in charge of our operations. Pam is also the former director of public health for the city of St. Louis, and she is just a tremendous resource to make things happen. So I'm going to introduce her, and Pam, you can come up and unveil what we're planning to do to meet the tremendous needs this summer throughout the metropolitan area, and particularly in St. Louis County.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all the hard work that everyone's doing to help us respond to this pandemic and to keep the public informed and everyone else informed about what they can do to protect themselves and their families. Like everyone else, Cool Down St. Louis is having to rethink everything that we do. And one of the things that we've done over the last, 4 or 5 years is hold person-to-person forums to help people qualify for utility assistance and sign up for counseling such as budgeting and energy efficiency and fire safety and those kinds of things. We're not going to be able to do those face-to-face forums this year, so the team at Cool Down St. Louis has come up with a social distancing methodology to reach people. We would help thousands of people in those one-day forums. We're doing everything we can to reach out to county residents. And we're working with Ameren as an anchor sponsor, as well as Missouri Public Service Commission, Castle, thank you very much. You guys have been with us for 20 years, helping us meet the needs. Urban League of St. Louis, we're coordinating with both the county and the city, and others to bring these virtual forums to those most in need. It's, it's going to be our new normal probably for the next year. Ameren has been with us very early from this pandemic by helping us plan and provide some funding, as has Dr. Page and his staff by giving us community development block grant money early. We have all seen this coming and have been watching the need grow. I want to remind members of the public that you should try to pay something on your utility bills, and if you need help, go to cooldownstlous.org or Ameren.com, I think, yes, Ameren.com, and you will see several options on both of those sites where you can apply for assistance to help pay your bills. Our board member, Tara Oglesby, I think she's here, yes, hi. I want to thank her and her staff. If you'd all raise your hand, or raise your hands. We are very grateful for the hard work that you have done in planning to help meet this need. We have written grants. You've provided us with input on that. You've provided us with your expertise. We appreciate that. Ameren also purchased and donated 1,000 air conditioners for the region to help our seniors and disabled people only. That's what those are focused on, who don't already have an air conditioning source in their home. And we appreciate that from Ameren. In these virtual forums, people will be able to do the same things they did in the other forums. Heads of households will be able to qualify their families for utility assistance. Individuals making less than 300% of the poverty level will be able to apply for assistance, and they can sign up for counseling, budget billing, and things like that. Cool Down St. Louis has the track record and the infrastructure already in place to get this money out quickly to those most in need and those most impacted by COVID. Speed is of the essence at this point. As we go longer through the summer, bills get higher, people get more behind, and utility companies are going to have to face shut-offs along with the other things that are expiring from the CARES Act. These virtual forums are just another regional tool in keeping people safe, keeping people in their homes from the poor to the middle income who've lost their jobs. Many people that we're helping, this is the first time they've ever asked for help, and they're welcome, and we are glad to help them, and we appreciate the funding that everybody has given us to do that. We're working, Gentry and his team are working very hard to get these forums online by August. They will be weekly, and we'll have further instructions on how people can sign up for those. But again, I want to tell people, if they need help now, go to cooldownstlous.org, and we'll get them in the system to get them some help. The $1 million that Dr. Page is providing today is great support for us to get this started. We're working hard to apply for other funding, and we hope to have other funds available to bundle with this $1 million. But this is helping us have those virtual forums come to fruition, because we have to have money to commit for people to qualify for assistance. And I want to remind people, though, that this is not costing the county anything. We do not charge an administrative fee at Cool Down St. Louis. Our board underwrites all operations costs for Cool Down St. Louis, including Tara's boss, Ameren, that helps us do that. And finally, as we all work together to adjust our lives, to assure services to one another, and to help keep one another's families safe, I hope everyone wears a mask, that you continue to socially distance, and that if you can, follow Dr. Page's advice and choose virtual school for your children. Thank you.
The opinions expressed by Pam on virtual, that is not the opinions of Cool Down St. Louis necessarily. But thank you, Pam, for that, and we will be doing these virtual forums once a month. And it will be a tremendous effort, and for those people who are waiting now to get help, you don't have to wait for once a month, you just go to cooldowstlouis.org. A man's been with us since the beginning, is a wonderful guy. We got him from the clergy coalition of 350 churches throughout the metropolitan area. I'm sure it's grown since then. He has been a rock with us. He is not only our chairman emeritus, he is our corporate treasurer, Reverend Earl E. Nance Jr. Please come to the podium.
Nance.
Thank you, Gentry. There's an old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. But many of us know that some get going the other way when there is trouble. But not Dr. Sam Page and his St. Louis County administration. They haven't run the other way. They have run towards troubled times for many of the St. Louis County residents throughout the economic ladder. COVID-19 has put a strong hurt on many. It has not only devastated human lives, but the quality of lives for so many of our neighbors throughout the St. Louis region. Thank you, Dr. Sam Page, for stepping up to the plate. The $1 million today is a blessing for so many hurting from rent, mortgages, high cost of food and meds because they lost a job or had hours cut back. I also thank Sister Tara from Ameren for volunteering to hold back disconnections as long as you could. And Ameren volunteered to help neighbors with shareholders' dough, and that's the measure of a real corporation. Tell Marty, Mike, and Warner, we appreciate their efforts and keep it going. I've been to many of the face-to-face, cool down, heat up utility forums. They are informational and helpful to so many, and there's a chance to get help. I've done it from St. Charles to LeMay to North City. Now the challenge is before us to think out of the box. And in this case, we invented a box safely where later next month, you can go and register and get help but for now, just hit us up if you are over 65 at 314-241-0001. If you're under 65 years of age, take your phone or laptop, your tablet, desktop computers, and go to cooldowstlouis.org. While today's $1 million is only for St. Louis County, we also help Illinois as well with public donations. But we're in desperate need of donations over there. And while Dr. Page has done a great job, we appreciate the support of the city of St. Louis, and our virtual events will include both areas. We've got the dough to make it work. Dr. Page, as treasurer, I think I can add, with today's generous grant, while we are not charging you any administrative fees so far this year, cooldowstlouis.org and Heat Up have received more than $2.4 million from various county funding pots. So thank you on behalf of the thousands of people in need of utilities in St. Louis County.
Thank you very much, Reverend Nance. When we look at partners, we work with a lot. You know about Ameren and other social service agencies. One is Castle. They do a lot of light federal funding, and they'll explain how we work together, and they are always at our forums, and they'll be involved with the virtual forum. She is the president and CEO, Mrs. Bosman, and they run a great operation here. and partners, all the people who know how to spend money in addition to what we do online and through our hotline, they know how to spend money. Come on up.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Castle. Thank you, Gentry. When Cool Down St. Louis asked us to share today's good news at our location, we didn't hesitate. As Gentry said, we were pleased to host this inaugural event for St. Louis County and Cool Down St. Louis. We've been partnering with Mr. Trotter and Cool Down for 20 of our 52 years in St. Louis County. Together, we have been serving individuals and families in St. Louis County who have been challenged with tough economic conditions. We value our partnership and opportunity to supplement our LIHEAP federal funding in circumstances where partnering with Cool Down allows us to create the best economic outcomes for our customers. These funds give our customers a crucial safety net to prevent utility disconnections throughout the calendar year. Last year, Reverend Nance Jr. accepted on behalf of Cool Down Castle's Journey Award for the charity's outstanding leadership in energy assistance, fundraising, and public awareness. Reverend Nance, thank you for including us today in your charity's noteworthy journey. Today's St. Louis County cash infusion of $1 million will hopefully go a long way to those county residents troubled economically and medically due to COVID-19. Last year, I attended the Lee May Ameren Cool Down event, the forum, where many residents were able to receive direct customer support in a face-to-face manner. This was critically important to help them. With this new virtual approach, residents will get the help they need while staying safe. We are pleased to be able to support this event and to continue our partnership with Cool Down St. Louis.
Thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
So how many people will actually be impacted by this $1 million? Do you have like the number of homes that could equate to?
No, because-
That's a question for Gentry. Come on up here,
I'm
Gentry.
sorry, Doug. It varies, and normally we would tell you that in a normal time, we could say how much money we could give, but because the variables between all the utility companies being higher, we can't say, but we think that, and I don't want to get in, I never estimate without thinking it through. If we get $1 million, for instance, we hope to, because we're not just helping that one household, we're helping those people in that household. So hopefully we will be able to help at least 10,000 people impacted. You know, the bills are rather high, and bills are not just typically now $300 or $400, some are higher. So if, and this year is, you know why they're high? They're high because we tell people to stay at home, seniors and physically disabled people, and there are people with kids, so things are going to run up and things are going to get expensive. So I'm hoping that we help at least 10,000 people with that money. And what helps with that is we take the money that Doctor gave us in St. Louis County, we work with those, we stretch those dollars. For instance, Castle has LIHEAP funds for those people who qualify. They are bundled, and then there are other funds like the Clean Slate program with Ameren, they're bundled. So easily I can tell you 10,000 impacted easily, but don't hold me to it.
Dr. Campea, can you tell us where exactly clearly is this money coming from?
This came from a special, it's not actually CARES grant funding, it's a special allocation that we have discretion to distribute it into the community and high need areas. And we recognize that this is especially important to help with utility payments.
And do we anticipate this being long-term or a one-time?
No, this is a one-time contribution, and we have the flexibility with some of our federal grants to apply them in high need areas. And we've determined that utility assistance, especially in combination with our public health orders, is it's going to be important to keep folks in their homes to make sure their utilities are working, that their air conditioning is working, their heat's working this winter as we try and navigate this pandemic.
Can you
questions?
explain a little bit more clearly the new format online and how it works?
When we initiated, and we want to get ahead of ourselves for security reasons, you have footage, all of the stations have footage in your, the 101, they're available in your archive. What we're trying to do is provide information. For instance, there will be someone pre-video that would be able, like someone from Ameren will be talking about energy efficiency, budget billing, someone from another utility company, there will be people talking about public safety, the Fire Chiefs Association and so forth, and at some point, you'll be able to press a button, you register, and as you register and go through the process, you will be able to select right now, it may change, your agency nearest you so you can fill in your information because you have to be authenticated. We will be using last four digits of socials and some other security issues to make sure those are the people who want the help and need the help, etc. And then once they do that, it will be pledged live. So then they will get a notice. Hopefully we'll encourage them to sign up. There is, at least for Ameren, you can pre-sign and work through them to get a text or a email that your pledge has been made. And it's very crucially important to I think point out that we've had people who've never had assistance before. Reverend has said that over the years, but this year it's dramatically different. Who knew that in 20 years of doing what we're doing in 44 counties now, because we work with Ameren in all their counties, in 44 counties in Missouri and Illinois, including St. Louis County, who knew that we would be this far out in terms of the demand? And I do agree with Reverend and with Pam. We do want people to pay something on their bill. It's whatever you can pay, it helps. It helps you and it helps us and it helps keep the ball rolling. So we do want people to understand that if you need help, go to cooldownstlouis.org. And if you don't, somebody else may. So we're not gonna have money forever. And our total today, I can tell you, I like to add up money. They call me the Banker Drysdale of the utility industry. We have over $7 million we've raised so far this year. That's unheard of for us. Our budget last year was $3 million. And it'll probably be more because Ameren continues to step up and everyone else. So we don't have time to sit there and go, oh, wow, look at this, oh, isn't this fat? It's gotta go out the door. And that's what we're trying to do, get it out the door. And one of the things you do is you have these once a month virtual. It educates people, it helps them, it keeps them safe. They don't have to come out, along with the fact that you can do this almost every day, the regular way. If you just go, if you're a senior, you can call a number, and if you're physically disabled, or if you are under 65 and you have a computer and all the other stuff, you can actually get help now. But what we're trying to do is help educate our public, and that's what our forums were when your station was there, and that's what it's all about, trying to make an additional reach for people who may have forgotten or people who need to know a little bit more. That's why the Public Service Commission is involved in Missouri, so they can also help them about their rights and so forth and so on. So it takes a village, and it starts right here, and it starts right over there, and it starts over there. And that's what we're trying to do, is save lives this summer and keep everybody cool and safe. And in the wintertime, we want to keep everybody warm with our Heat Up program.
Are there any stipulations on the St. Louis County money other than living in St. Louis? Is age restriction or?
All of the stipulations for eligibility are run by Cool Down St. Louis, and they've got the standard criteria that they've used for years in the St. Louis region, and we trust those criteria.
Okay, so can y'all come over and do a check, please?
Okay.
And Wally Price is right below y'all here. If y'all can move this.
Come over here?
Move over here, Wally. Let's shoot on this side. Come on over, please. You can come all the way.
Put him out of the way?
Yeah, get on the chair.
Okay, thanks, Pam.
Okay, thank you. Can you look this way, please? And over here. Everybody let us know when you're finished. Okay, we're finished.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, Sam, did you come back up? There's another question I can run by you.
Yep.
One, I wanted to clarify that I think it was asked, the funding sources from HUD.
HUD, yep.
Yeah. And then the question, let me get back to that, was, you mentioned in an earlier presser this week about a quarantine hotel for teachers.
Oh, sure.
Do we know what the capacity of that is, and would it be available for other people that work in schools, other like staff people? Not just
Yeah, we'll work with those eligibility criteria through our Department of Human Services, but we definitely want to support our school systems. If they have a teacher or other staff member that can't safely quarantine at home, of course this is a voluntary opportunity that we've offered to other first responders. I do want to recognize that it's my recommendation that any family that can choose a virtual option for school this fall should do so. And with the trajectory of COVID in our community, I would expect that we're going to see most, if not all, of our schools headed towards an all virtual first quarter. That's not a decision we can make as a county right now, but I think some schools are headed in that direction regardless.
And one other thing, there was talk about the testing problems yesterday. Do you have any update on the testing issues that we were getting as a result of the labs? And
Our challenges are managing large bundles of testing results that come in, thousands, tens of thousands, in data that's not deduplicated. We're working with the state, who had inherited a rather antiquated system, and they're upgrading their software at the end of this week or beginning of next week. When they do so, this will all be electronic. But up until this point and through this week, we are taking paper records that we receive from labs outside of the region, and we're entering those by hand. So historically, those had been entered by the state, and then the information was sent to us electronically. Because of the volume of testing results that have come back, the state has allowed us to intercept the 30% or so that were from St. Louis County and allowed us to enter into their system on their behalf, but it also allows us to get those results more quickly. So that will help us get the data, positive and negative test results, into our system more quickly. It allows us to initiate contact tracing and case management more quickly. And then we're also working with our providers that have not been providing us information more on a timely basis. We're working with them to help them comply with our rapid notification order. And we're also going to dig through tens of thousands of records of data to get them into our system to make sure there are no duplicates and make sure our records are up to date before we post anything online.
that's all I got.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
You and other leaders are encouraging school districts to go 100% virtual, but Misha has said those school districts that go 100% virtual are not eligible for fall sports.
Right.
What's your
That's a tough decision for schools to make, and we have to do what's best for the health and welfare of the kids in our community. This is a very difficult time. It's a tragic time. It's bringing a lot of challenges, many of them unfortunate, to our community, and we're going to have to continue to balance these. But I would continue to recommend that parents choose virtual. I expect as these numbers increase over the next few weeks that schools will choose an all virtual opening, and we will see where these numbers go later on in the fall. If we're able to go to a partial virtual option, then maybe that opens up some opportunities for school sports. But Misha has the authority to regulate sports, and it's their guidelines that the schools will have to follow. This is a very difficult situation. I have a son who is a competitive in a fall sport. He's a senior in high school. I'd like for Misha to be more flexible. This is a historic time. We haven't seen anything like this in 100 years in our community, in our country. So we could hope that we could see something a little more flexible, but Misha has to work through that with the superintendents and then the school systems.
Can we forgot Tara before you close. Come on up, Tara, and take a picture with him with the money. Come on up. Tara is shy. She's the money bank. Come on, hurry up, please. Come on over real fast, people. Okay, would you, Wally, make sure we take this picture? She's
With
used to
this.
giving out checks. She never likes to be in photos.
I'm with you.
Just hold it down and normal. Thank you.
Yeah, for us short
Thank
people.
you. Yeah, I'm sorry, kinda, yeah. Nothing like getting crooked checks.
Right here,
Bill-
right here, please.
They'll still cash.
Well, I know.
Just so it doesn't bounce.
Okay, hold on one second, please. We have one more. Right here. Okay, that's good. Okay. And thank you, Doctor, and thank all of the participants, including Amory.
All right. Thank you, everyone.